Today's emphasis is going to be on the sign of Aries through each house of the natal chart. And this is also to go in line with the solar eclipse that's going to happen. Western astrology, it's going to be in the sign of Aries. In Vedic, it's actually going to be in the sign of Pisces. But we're going to go off of the Western astrology. So we're going to start with Aries rising, which is in the first house. So if you're an Aries rising, this eclipse going through your house of self. Let's go into what the first house having Aries there means. It means that you're like a blazing comet. You leave a trail of confidence and assertiveness wherever you go. And your self-identity is very strong. You know what you want and have like a natural charismatic energy about you, whether you're outgoing or not. So with this solar eclipse going through the first house, this could bring up a cycle for the next 6 months to a year, where you really look at the persona you give off. And maybe you want to restructure that image that you have, and you take a better look at things and what you want to work on. There might be some things that you notice about yourself that you hadn't noticed before, right? And so you want to kind of enter a new phase and change up certain things about how you've dealt with things in the past. You no longer want to deal with them in the same way because you feel like you're moving forwards. You're at a period of time where you're ready to change, a big change in your identity, okay? Especially since this is a North Node eclipse. So that's a double whammy there. Well, not a double whammy, I won't say it in that way, but it's going to be more strong of an influence to big changes in your personal life within yourself. So now we're going to go to Taurus rising. People are going to have their Aries in the 12th house. Having Aries in the 12th house, that's a really tricky placement. But the 12th house is the house of Pisces. Neptune is there. It is the house of secrets, unknowns, the other dimension that we do not see. And it's the collective unconscious and your, things that you're unaware of too. But with Aries there, it's like you're the hidden warrior. You're like this warrior that is behind the scenes, and you are really, truly you're the ultimate, you like, I'm trying to look for the best way to explain this. Let's just say that everyone's gonna want somebody like you in their life because you are supportive. You are one of the most caring, loving individuals there because you have that natural warrior spirit behind the scenes. You're wanting to help others all the time. And it's almost like, and you don't really care too much to have it noticed either. Well, depending on other things in your chart, but that's where it's going to be for you. So I think it's also about some things that are very big. Like you have, you deal with things on your own. So it's like with Aries being in the house of the veil, there are probably a lot of things that you kind of harbor inside, but you don't really show, and you keep it to yourself. Maybe there's a lot of things you don't even know that you're dealing with, and you're going through all these burdens without even realizing it, but you're taking it like a champ, obviously, because Aries is there. So, but with this solar eclipse, that could bring up that stuff to light. It's going to bring it to light in a way, because when there's a shadow in shadow, it's like, I don't know. Because also Aries being like the sun of Aries, or sun in Aries right now as well, but with that eclipse. So it's going to be kind of like a in and out phase, almost like you're going across the veil and seeing things, but it's like revealing things to you. And so, especially with the North Node being there collectively, it's a trigger point for you to dive deep into uncomfortable things. So it's another deep transformational thing for you. And you're going to have to really go into traumas there. You have to kind of dive into traumas that are harboring in. And then for Gemini risings, Aries is going to be in your 11th house. Having Aries in the 11th house means that, you love having group of friends. True camaraderie is important to you. And it's your passion. It's your passion to be in a community, in a group setting, and do things as a team. So with the solar eclipse going through there and the North Node, that can bring up topics of looking at the people that you have in your life. What friendships or, partnerships or whatever no longer serve you very well, and which ones are needed and which ones aren't needed, basically. So making sure you're hanging out with the right crew, the right group of people that are for your betterment. And now for Cancer rising, Aries is going to be in your 10th house. Yeah, that's a big one. So the 10th house of career. Okay, so having Aries in the 10th house of career gives you a natural drive to achieve your goals, career-wise, what your mission is, working hard and being passionate about it, or at least, fulfilling your mission. You have that drive there. And with the solar eclipse and the North Node there, that can really bring up the questions of, it could help you a lot too, actually. So it's not just a bad thing, but it can help you a lot because it's going to maybe something brand new can happen in your career field, and it really upgrades your life, and a lot of good things could come your way. But before that happens, before you get those blessings and all that stuff, that good karma coming in, you need to make sure you know which path you want to take. You need to know which road you're going down, because you're going to have to pick based off of what phase in life you're in. So after that happens and you do your work to figure out exactly what it is that you're wanting to do, that could bring forth a new chapter in your life, in your careers. Now for Leo rising, this is going to be in your 9th house, Leo rising, and I'm a Leo rising. So that means for me, the 9th house is the house of philosophy. It's the house of education, higher knowledge, and studies. And so with Aries being there, the solar eclipse, and then the North Node, a lot of deep diving into spiritual topics. Like really just like whether it's education into astrology more, whether it's, taking a course on philosophy, religions, and all that kind of stuff. It's all about the most spiritual things. And having Aries there gives the pioneering, passionate spirit naturally to do that and have a desire to understand people and connections, making connections and perspectives, learning, constantly learning and trying to figure out why things happen the way they do. So with the solar eclipse being there, maybe you'll start to really go into that deeper, but it could also bring up some topics that test you in your life, that bring up some situations or, lifestyles that gives you that mirror back looking at yourself. Am I really living out all I believe? And then having that happen, you start a new cycle into learning how to become more authentic and living out your beliefs in a truer way. Now, for Virgo risings, Aries is going to be in your 8th house. You have a natural desire and passion to really dig deep into transformative topics. Deep connections and all that stuff is what fascinates you. You love learning about those things. It's very similar to the 9th house, but different because it involves even more deeper things, darker themes too, actually. You're not afraid of the dark. Let's just say that. And with Aries being there, absolutely warrior spirit in the darkest of voids, which is, I mean, that gives you a lot of power there. So Virgo rising, this solar eclipse could really, take you deep down to that more. Looking at all the chords that you've developed, or not developed, but created and, had consent to create with others throughout your life, and really kind of dissecting all of those things, what they entail. Are you still holding on to some things that need to be let go of? And with the North Node being there collectively, you can't escape it, right? So it's a destiny point when there's a collective North Node on top of it. It's going to really trigger that spot in particular for all people in different areas of their life, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. And so for you, though, I think you'll be very aware of it because the 8th house is not hidden from you. You can see it's the house of known enemies. The 12th house is the house of hidden enemies, right? And it's secrets, things that you're unaware of that are hidden from you. 8th house is things that you are well aware of, the hidden things that you see. So it's going to bring all that stuff up, and you're going to really figure out how you want to deal with certain things, a new pathway you want to go down. What cords do you want to cut? What cords do you want to keep? So, and now for Libra rising. Libra rising. Aries is going to be in your 7th house. So having Aries in the 7th house of relationships, it doesn't have to be just romantic relationships. It could be friendships, family, all that kind of stuff. So relationships of any kind, it's really about the dynamic between you and others, behavior wise. And with Aries there, you're very passionate, and, being in a relationship that gives you freedom to be yourself and be as passionate as you want, independently, not like passionate, like I'm saying you want to be in a passionate relationship that gives you independence. So when there is a solar eclipse there, maybe there's some things that haven't been so healthy that you need to look at in your relationships, especially the North Node being there, aiding this solar eclipse to give a bigger nudge to look at things, and tells you have to look at this because it is time. It's time to straighten up these dynamics in your relationships. It is time to figure out if you're really happy where you're at. Are you happy with your relationship to your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, everything, your friends? I mean, everything involving relationship dynamics, okay? So that's going to come up for you. And Scorpio rising, Aries is going to be in your 6th house. So with Aries being in your 6th house, it does give you a lot more passionate focus into health concerns, health related things, for yourself. Okay. You're also probably more naturally aware of your physique, the way you look, and you try to be more conscious about how you appear. You want to appear a particular way. You won't show that you care, that you're purposely caring, or but it's inside, and Scorpios are very good at holding things inside and acting like people would never be able to guess that that's something important to you. So, and you wouldn't want people to know that it's important to you. at all either. So, but having Aries in the 6th house with the solar eclipse, that could bring up things about your health, obviously, and bring to your awareness that, hold on. Okay, so having Aries in the 6th house with that solar eclipse, this could bring up maybe something, I mean, I would say something in your health that you need to pay attention to. I would say take it easy on the solar eclipse, just in case, because it's in your health house, in the house of health, and there's a solar eclipse going to be shadowing over there. But I could be wrong about that. But just the dynamic exchange there, it just has me wondering. But it could bring up things about your health, and maybe everything looks squeaky clean on the front and on the outside, but something inside is not. So it's like a false showing, right? It's like the false appearance that things are good, but inside it's not. That's what it could bring up for you, Scorpio rising. Sagittarius rising, it's going to be in your 5th house. And 5th house, having Aries in the 5th house, it gives you an extreme drive and passion to have fun all the time, because the 5th house is the house of playing, of pleasure, of kids, gambling. I mean, it's all the fun. That's like the funnest house. It's the house of the sun. So, but yeah, with it being in the 5th house, maybe it's bringing up some stuff about how you're overdoing some things. Maybe you have something like you've been a little too crazy lately and partying, or having too much fun, and so it's kind of got you off of your game, your mojo, in regards to financial stuff or whatever. It's going to bring up some things about, okay, am I going to maybe have more of a hold on certain things now? Or I don't know, like 5th house with Aries, the solar eclipse, it's going to like really bring up topics of how you have fun. And are these activities healthy to continue? Another thing too is that this might even bring up some things about kids. If you don't have kids, maybe it's going to make you want to have kids even more badly. You're going to think about the future stuff now. It's kind of going to give the opposite effects, or bring up some things about that. And so it's going to slow you down a little bit, not slow you down, but it's going to make you reflect. I mean, that's what moons do. So, that's kind of how I see it playing out. Maybe it's going to tell you need to relax more. Maybe don't take a break from the partying, take a break from, all the fun and stuff, because you just need to relax. You just need rest now. So for Capricorn risings, it's going to be in your 4th house. Having Aries in the 4th house, it can be good and it could be bad at the same time. It really depends. It could bring a lot of, just having the sign there in itself. It could mean that like your family has always been very spontaneous, passionate type of family, or that's on the bright side. On the negative side, it could also mean family life was chaotic, and things were not really structured. So, and just too much, right? And you didn't really feel like you were. It could bring up a lot of family stuff. I'll just say that eclipse there, it's going to show the shadows. It's going to bring out the shadows of that house. So therefore, it could bring out shadows of your past, of your family. You could figure out something or find out something about family even, and It could encourage you to actually reconnect with some family members because you'll start really thinking about your beginnings a lot more. So, your mother as well, because that's the house of your mother. So, now Aquarius rising, it's going to be in your third house. Aries in the third house gives you very quick mind. You are very quick thinking and you know how to be sharp and witty about things. How it could affect you? I mean, it could have the opposite effect of that. Or you could just have no desire to want to, like you feel burnt out in a way, maybe. It could bring up topics of how you communicate, you know, maybe changing the way that you communicate to others. So Pisces rising, it's going to be in your second house, Pisces rising. So having Aries in the second house, it amps up your motivation for financial success. You have more of a drive to gain material wealth in however way possible, right? It gives you actually luck there. So it gives you some luck there, assuming that you have good planetary placements as well, of course. But with the solar eclipse and the collective north node there, I mean, it could actually maybe be careful with like stock stuff. Like I'm going to give some advice to everybody here during this solar eclipse. Probably not the best idea to sign any contracts. Don't sign any contracts. Don't invest. Don't make any investments right now. It's best to wait till after that's over. Do not. I advise you do not. That goes for everybody. But for Pisces rising, I think it's even more crucial just because the fact that it's going through your actual second house, and that's about material wealth. It's about your resources, your stocks, and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. So, and that's the house of Taurus. So that's what Taurus rules. All right. So that's what I have, guys. I hope that helps. If you want to know your rising sign, you just need to know what time you were born, the location, and the day, obviously. So all those accurate details. Make sure they're accurate because then give you the most accurate results. So, all right. I hope you liked it. Peace out.